Welcome to the Community Difference Wylie, powered by the Difference Media, LLC, and hosted by Scott Johnson with FireBoss Realty, and also sponsored by Harvey Loosier with Twilight Cleaning Services, Kim Johnson with Kim Johnson Group, Clarence Jorif with the Compound Nevada, and by Diane Castle with Castle to Castle, connecting charities with fundraising solutions. The Community Difference Wylie was created to serve as a platform for local leaders and business professionals to showcase their expertise, values, and commitment to their community. Overall, the podcast aims to create a stronger sense of community in North Texas by highlighting the often overlooked or unnoticed good work being done by local leaders, businesses, and professionals. So sit back and relax as our host, co-host, and their guests share inspirational stories, experiences, thoughts, and insights about being a professional, along with the opportunities for our businesses to serve our communities in very special ways. Because the Community Difference Wylie starts now.
Well, good morning, Wylie, and welcome to the Community Difference Wylie. We're a podcast that's firmly rooted at the intersection of business development and community involvement. I'm your host, Scott Johnson with FireBoss Realty, where life is relationships and everything else is just details. I'm excited to be here as the host of the show. We'll introduce you to some of the business owners that make Wylie, Saxe, and Murphy awesome areas to live. We'll keep you up to date on what's going on in the area, and we'll discuss business development topics that help all of us build better businesses and provide better services to the people we serve in the community. This month, we're talking about a blueprint to breakthrough business growth, or how to create a clear strategy that sets you apart from your competitors. So to help me introduce the topic, I'd like to bring in my co-host and my partner, Harvey Loosier. Harvey's a seasoned entrepreneur with over 30 years of experience. He owns Twilight Cleaning Services, a family-run commercial cleaning company servicing businesses across North Texas. He's constantly serving somebody somewhere, whether it's at his church or in the youth activities that he supports, or in his spare time, he enjoys hunting and golf. So we'll bring Harvey in, and with 7 children and 4 grandchildren, where do you find time for hunting and golf?
Oh man, you have to pencil that in, Scott. I mean, there's just it has to be a must. You have to put it down there.
Well, and I did see some Facebook stuff where you're taking grandkids hunting with you.
Yes. I honestly think that's the main reason why I go hunting, just to be able to spend that time with them. That's the main reason.
How old was that little guy?
Oh, he was actually 3. My youngest grandson.
That's fun. I love watching that.
And he knows how to drive already. Pops taught him.
That's a good way. That's a good thing to do.
Absolutely.
Does he drive 4-wheelers, or was he drive?
He's just driving the truck right now. Listen,
okay.
one step at a time.
Yeah, I wrecked my first car when I was 10 because my grandpa let me drive it.
But you remember that?
Yep, I do. I remember it vividly. I could tell you how many T-posts I knocked down on that barbed wire fence.
That's funny.
And then Grandpa took the blame for all of it. He was driving. He just missed it. I thought he was protecting me for years, and then I realized, nope, he's just protecting himself from them women that he would have had to tell I was driving. So
yep, he knew better.
He bluffed. Our other co-host we've got is from a guest host from our Plano show, and I'm excited to welcome Traci Duff to the show. Traci's got over 30 years in Plano. She's become a corner of community service in Plano. Everything from Plano Special Olympics to champion causes like the Walk to End Alzheimer's and Pajamas for Seniors. She's involved in a lot of stuff in Plano. So let's bring Traci in. How's January going, Traci?
It's still here.
Yeah, is it just me, or does it seem like it's 57 days long?
I wrote in my journal this morning, and I dated, and I sat there, and I have to always think, what's the date? And I went, oh my God, it's still January.
Yeah, it is still January.
Yeah. And then February will fly by. It'll be gone.
So how many days till February?
Yeah, 2, 3, I don't know, 12.
There's another week left. No, there's not.
No, we got till Friday. We give up on Friday. Hey,
And
Harvey.
I'm going to bring our guest in, Eric Bush. Eric's a financial expert with over 2 decades of experience in helping families and small businesses achieve financial freedom, which is a really good place to be. After earning a degree in finance from UNT, he joined Primerica in 2002, climbed the ranks to regional vice president and by 2014, and manages a successful brokerage with 32 licensed agents. So good morning, Eric.
Good morning. How are you guys doing?
Doing good. How are you doing today?
It's been a great day. I appreciate you guys having us on. I'm really excited just to go through the topics and to talk and get to know everybody.
So does January seem like it's about 37 or 57 days long to you, or has it been a quick January for you?
No, it seems forever long. And with Saturday being the first, our month doesn't end until February the 3rd. So it is still going. We still have 5 more days of January.
Well, we're almost out of the month, and Saturday will be a good day, so we can start February. But this is going to be our cast for the show today, and we're going to run to a commercial break real quick, and when we come back, we'll talk about what's up in Wylie.
What's up?
All right.
The Community Difference Wylie is made possible by Scott Johnson with FireBoss Realty, Harvey Loosier with Twilight Cleaning Services, Kim Johnson with Kim Johnson Group, Clarence Jorath with the Compound Nevada, and by Diane Castle with Castle to Castle, connecting charities with fundraising solutions. The Community Difference Wylie. Together, we can make the difference. And now, back to the show.
Are you ready?
Because it's time for
What's Up, Wylie?
So this is the part of the show where we talk about what's going on in the Wylie, Sachse, Murphy kind of area. And Harvey, why don't you kick us off? What do you got?
All right. Well, I'm going to continue on. Again, I've talked about this the last couple of weeks, but tomorrow is the date for the 3rd annual Cupid Crawl. This is a huge thing that goes on downtown. It's on February the 1st. I said tomorrow, but it's on Saturday, February the 1st from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. Local small businesses downtown, such as Ballard Boutique and Bakery, Herman Marshall, Hope's Gate, and the Wylie Flower Shop, all are hosting this. And you can stop by each and every one of those locations and pick up a complimentary drink. They'll have huge shopping deals. But the main thing that I would stress is when you go to these businesses, make sure that you pick up that passport. That they'll each business, it doesn't matter where you start, but you'll be able to pick up a passport, and then you'll get that checked off at each location that you go to, and then you'll turn that in when you're done at Ballard Boutique and Bakery. And once you do that, you'll be entered into a raffle. So make sure you take advantage of that. That's a 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. just a thing that's going on downtown. So be sure to come out and support those local businesses downtown.
Yeah,
Also, go ahead.
We love that downtown Wylie, man.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
We love that Ballard Street.
The next one that I'm going to talk about, Traci actually said earlier and backstage before we went live that this was probably one of the most favorite things. She's been waiting her whole entire life for this.
Exactly.
But Glen Echoes will be hosting a beer and bacon pairing class. Now, if you've never experienced something like this, which I haven't, I'm with Traci. I mean, this is just like, I mean, you're pairing beer and bacon together. You know, it's pretty awesome. But Steve and Matt, I guess they're 2 professional craft beer and baking gurus. They're going to be sharing their expertise in this 2-hour class.
Wow.
And for $40, you get 4 tasters of craft beer. You get 4 strips of craft bacon. You get 2 hours of professional instructions. and then you get a pint pour of your favorite beer and a pint glass to take home. So
Oh,
while you're out there taking advantage of the downtown events, after that, go to Glen Echoes and that evening and take advantage of the beer and bacon pairing glass. So
Everything's better with bacon.
absolutely,
and beer.
I love you, Traci. I love that. So the next thing that I have, Scott, guys, is the paint and sip that's going on at the Wylie Nutrition on February the 7th from 6 to 9 p.m. Wylie Nutrition, they've done this a couple of different times, but they're going to have their paint and sip event again. And it's just in time, fellas, for that if you're looking for something to take your wife to do for Valentine's, you necessarily can't do it on Valentine's Day, or you're like me and you really don't want to get out on Valentine's Day and fight all the ruckus. This is a great opportunity to take your wife out and take advantage of this paint and sip. Registrations is open. There's limited spots available, so be sure to go to the Wylie Nutrition Facebook page and click on the link for more details and get signed up. And finally, February the 14th at the Saxe Historical Society. This is another great event for us fellas to be able to take our wives. And I always put it in that direction, but Traci, you may want to take your husband out to this. You may have to take the reins and make this happen, but on Valentine's Day, February the 14th at 6:30 p.m., the Saxe Historical Society will be hosting a murder mystery night. Now, has any of you guys ever done something like this?
I have.
Yeah, it
And
was a lot of fun.
a lot of fun. And I did not figure it out.
It's not your typical everyday date night, right?
No. It's a step up. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it's very intriguing. We did one with the library there in Wylie, which was our first time, kind of like that Clue, just going through the areas and trying to figure out who did what. It was awesome. So they do have tickets right now available. They're $50. The tickets include Italian dinner, and that comes with wine, beer, or tea, whichever you do of your choosing there. So fellas, good opportunity to get your wife out and do something different for Valentine's instead of that typical, hey, let's just go to dinner. So I do believe Eric has something to share as well that's going on downtown in Wylie.
Absolutely. We're sticking with the Valentine's themes for the guys. I don't know if you guys are like my wife. We always like to try different places. And we also like local places. I think that's one of the best things of the areas. It's a great local restaurants. And they're doing a Valentine's Day wine dinner red party at Landon's Vineyard. And it's right there in Wylie. It's going to come with a 4-course meal. It's going to be a great day. And what I like about it for the guys, it's simple, right? You buy your ticket. Everything's included. You're there. The whole night is planned. They're opening the doors at 6:30. They're going to start serving dinner at 7 for a great night at the winery. And it even says you get chocolates, wine, and love is what the brochure says. So I guess the love is going to be up to you. But that's going to be down there at the winery in Wylie.
Landon Winery. Yep, that's a nice place. All right. Anybody else, or am I jumping in?
I think it's your turn.
Ew.
All right, well, I'll jump in. Let's start with the Saxe Community Summit. Saxe's been working on updating their comprehensive plan, and there's a community summit coming up on February 11th from 6 to 8. They've done all of the input and taken input from the community and put together all of that. And the community summit is going to be an opportunity for people to see what all of that is and then give input on it. So that's gonna be there. The next thing I've got from Saxe is the Saxe Scholarship, and that is for high school, whoever's graduating as a high school senior, and it can be public, private, or homeschool. And the scholarship's awarded to one student in the amount of $1,000 to be used during the academic year for an accredited education institution beyond high school. Applications are due by March 25th. So if you've got a high school senior and they're looking for some help with college, which I don't know who isn't looking for help with college anymore, there's a scholarship available for the city of Saxe. And then in Murphy, these are always kind of fun. This is for Murphy residents only, though. It's at their community center. So it's a daddy-daughter dance. They're doing an under the sea theme, so it's going to be kind of like Little Mermaid, I guess. And they're going to do a daddy-daughter dance. It's $35 for you and your daughter. If you've got 2 daughters, it's $15 for the next daughter. Or how many daughters you got, Harvey?
Oh my goodness, I have 6.
Yeah, okay. So for you to take them, it would be very expensive dates. But those are always fun. I took my daughter when she was little, and we had a great time. So, daddy-daughter dance. That's going to be over at the event center there in Murphy. Murphy's also going to have, which this one you might want to take some grandkids to.
Yes.
They're going to have the Rainbow Trout Roundup, which just sounds awesome to me. I don't know how you get rainbow trout to live very long in the little pond out there in front of the Murphy City Hall, but they're going to be in there. It's the 11th annual. So it's going to be February 22nd at Murphy City Hall Pond from 10 to 1. And it's for anybody under 17 years old. They can enter. They've got different times so that the young guys don't get outfished by adults. 0 to 6 years old is from 10 to 11. And then 7 to 12 years old is 11 to 12. And then 12 to 17 years old is from 12 to 1. And then they're going to be doing a fish fry that whole time. The fish fry is $12 a head. I don't know if it's going to be rainbow trout.
Oh.
It didn't really say, but there's going to be a fish fry happening that day also. It's $12 a head. It runs from 10:30 to 1:30. So during the whole time that the fishing tournament's going on, that's going on. And then after the fishing tournament is over, anybody that wants to can go fishing in the pond.
Yep.
So have you gone to that before?
I haven't gone to that particular one, but I have went to one of those. And when you ask how they last that long, come the next day, everybody in Blue Moon that's an adult is out there. So they're fished up before they even have a chance of survival, if you will. So
that evening, up until I think they said, let me get the time right because this is important. That evening from 1 to 5, anyone that wants to fish can fish out there without a fishing license. The game warden's allowing that.
Wow.
After 5, you better have a fishing license or you're going to lose your poles and your truck and everything you're using to fish with because you're fishing without a license. So that just sounds like a good time to me. If you like fishing, it's in town. You can go over to the Saxe City Hall or to the Murphy City Hall and go fishing. And then the last one I've got is the Wylie Police Department is testing for police officers. And that is a really good department. If you know somebody who's 20 years and older and has graduated high school or has a GED, they're eligible to go take that test if they've got a clean background check. They're gonna not need to have felonies and things like that because that's just requirements for the police department. There's a whole list of things that are automatic disqualifiers that are on the Saxe Police site, but there is a written examination on that date on February 22nd. If you go to the website or just go to the City of Wylie's website and look at it, there's a study guide specifically for that test. So if you want to study for the test, man, they're looking for some good police officers, and that's a really good career. So as a fireman, we always enjoyed having our cops with us. They're our brothers in blue. We tease with them a lot and we harass them a lot and we tell them that they took the wrong test because we got the better job. But man, we love them and we really need them. So if that's something that interests you, that's going to be on the 22nd. But I think that's the last one I've got. Do y'all have anything? I might have one more. If nobody else has one, I got one more. The SOAR Prom is coming up at Lake Point Church. It is like the most magical night of the year for anybody with special needs. Anybody that's 14 and up, they're welcome. It's a free event. Lake Point Church just puts it on. They walk in on a red carpet. The girls, they do their hair and their makeup for them. The guys get boutonnieres. They're treated like royalty. And I think one of my favorite parts of the night is everybody is paired up with a buddy that night so that their full-time caregivers can just go off to a respite room and they can just hang out and have some time off and visit with other people that are kind of in the same life situation with them. And I mean, it's just kind of a night off for their full-time caregivers also. So I just love the SOAR Prom. I'm going to be there. Look for me. I'm not exactly sure what I'm doing. There's one of the volunteer spots is whatever it takes, and I'm kind of that guy. I'm just whatever it takes for them to have a great night is what I'm going to be doing. So I don't even know what it is yet, but you can go to Lake. It's at Lake Point Church in Rockwall, and you can just Google Lake Point Church SOAR Prom, SOAR Prom. And the registration is free, and it's just a wonderful evening. But that's all I've got for this time. So if nobody else has anything, I'm going to go to a break, and then when we come back, we will talk about our business topic for the month.
The Community Difference would like to thank each of the following partners for their continued support. At FireBoss Realty, we believe life is about relationships, and everything else is just details. Whether you're buying or selling, Scott and Amy Johnson are here to understand your family's unique needs and deliver expert guidance on the North Texas real estate market. With a reputation for integrity and personalized service, FireBoss Realty makes your home journey stress-free and successful. Ready to make your move? Visit FireBossRealty.com and let's ignite your real estate dreams.
Everyone deserves access to affordable health insurance, but with traditional insurance, costs can be high and getting coverage can be complicated. JP Direct Health is a simpler, more affordable way to get the health coverage you need. With plans for individuals, families, and small businesses, you can save money on monthly premiums without the need for physicals. At jpdirecthealth.com, we specialize in customizing coverage to fit almost every budget with affordable PPO plans and many other benefits. With over 100 5-star Google reviews, JP Direct Health is a trusted resource making health insurance affordable and accessible for everyone year-round. Affordable health insurance solutions are a proactive protection, not a reactive solution. Visit jpdirecthealth.com today and see how much you can save.
I'm always here to help. Thank you.
Total Care Emergency Room now has 9 locations in the DFW Metroplex. With no appointment needed, our incredible staff will get you checked in with no wait times. Our 5-star facility is open and fully staffed 24/7. We offer extensive treatment options for patients of all ages, providing on-site labs and imaging equipment, including CT, X-ray, and ultrasound, allowing us to provide fast, convenient care for our community. Total Care ER is your neighborhood emergency room. TotalCare.us.
Unwanted pests in your home can be stressful. From creepy crawlies to critters under the floorboards, they disrupt your peace of mind. But don't worry. All Pest Solutions is here to help. We offer a comprehensive range of safe and effective pest control solutions. We target all types of pests, big or small, including insects, rodents, and wildlife. All Pest Solutions, your local experts for a pest-free home. Breathe easy and enjoy your life again. Call today for a free quote. 972-442-1169 or email us at customerservice@allpestsolutions.com.
To belong is one of our most basic human needs. Best Buddies International is the world's largest organization dedicated to ending the social isolation of 200 million individuals who have intellectual and developmental disabilities. We focus on meaningful one-to-one friendships, integrated employment, leadership development, and inclusive living. You have the power to make an impact, create change, and champion our mission of inclusion today.
Now back to the show.
All right. Well, this part of the show is our monthly topic. And this month we're talking about Blueprint to Breakthrough Business Growth. how to create a clear strategy that sets you apart from your competitors. So really, I guess what we're talking about is just differentiation. How do you differentiate yourself from other businesses that are kind of in the same industry? And from a business development standpoint, differentiation is the process of distinguishing a company's products, services, or brands from its competitors in a way that creates value for its target audience. So we all have a differentiator. So I guess we'll start with Harvey. Harvey, what differentiates Twilight Cleaning Services from your competitors?
Well, I think the biggest thing for us, Scott, is we don't just clean. We create those first impressions. And what kind of sets us apart from other cleaning companies is our commitment to excellence. We strive for our safety and being involved in the community. Team members aren't just janitors; we call them first impression specialists. We train and certify them in the blood pathogen safety, OSHA compliance, and we lead the industry in cleaning standards. We also specialize in serving businesses in health industries, such as the schools, daycares, churches, and offices, ensuring a spotless and safe environment every time. But beyond the cleaning, Scott, we believe in building relationships. I think that's what really makes us stand out. We really want to partner with our businesses to provide a customized cleaning solution that meets their unique needs. And as a Christian-owned company, we stand for our values: integrity, being dependable, being involved in the community, and most importantly, we like to invest in our team with ongoing training and support first responders and youth and local organizations. So at the end of the day, our mission statement is simple. Our business is making yours shine. So if you're looking for a cleaning partner that goes above and beyond that, Twilight Cleaning Services is the name to trust.
Yeah, and I think that's a big deal that you mentioned there was relationships. And I mean, if you've watched me for very long, you know that's kind of my hot button. As life is relationships and everything else is details. So how do y'all build relationships with your clients that sets you apart from your competitors?
In my business, I'm working with seniors and families, and it's a very intricate time in their lives. So I'm very, very personal. What I'm doing is very intimate. And so I have to build that trust right off the bat with them, because I'm going to be asking questions they're not used to sharing. But typically, after building that trust, you've opened the door. I get the parents who end up telling me more than they tell their kids.
Yeah.
I have no skin in the game. I'm not in the will. I'm not waiting for the house or any of that. So I have to really build that relationship on the trust factor, on the empathy, and I handhold them all the way through the process. And I'm kind of a lifetime external family member now. So yeah, it's a sensitive time, and so you got to be sensitive and compassionate with them to build that trust.
And anybody that knows you doesn't have any problem seeing you holding their hand and being compassionate. That's just,
I love what I do.
Kind of how you are.
Yeah, it's fun. I like what I do.
It's awesome.
In our business, when it comes to finance, it's really, in my opinion, relationships are key. I always tell my guys, relationships are better than transactions. And sadly, we live in a world, especially with a lot of stuff being done online and over the phone, where it's transaction oriented, not relationships.
Yep.
And I always ask people, does your guy, does he know your family? Does he know your kids? Does he know your goals? Can you personally call him? And with our business, that's one of the things we've done over the last 20 years. It's really get to know clients. They spend more time asking me about my kids and my family than they do about the market or different mutual funds, because they want to know they have a person who actually knows them. And then the more you get to know them, the more honest they're going to be about their goals. Because a lot of times, the first time you meet someone about finance, they're not always going to tell you everything. Sometimes they try to make the situation look prettier than it might be, or maybe to make it not as pretty as it is. But as you build that relationship, They understand, hey, you're there with them for the long haul. We're going to make sure you reach your goals, and it becomes more of a friendship. And to me, that's the goal. I tell my clients, when you think about money, just see my big head, right? Whatever it is, call me. And if I can't help you with it, I'll know somebody. But it's building a relationship where they know you have their best interest, but you actually know what their goals are and what they want to achieve.
And we're very similar, Eric, because we're dealing not only with one relationship, we've got family dynamics, and there's a lot of other pieces that usually go along with that. So it's building that trust and having those relationships that make the difference.
Yeah.
It's really key, and especially with some of my older clients, I try to get their kids involved. You know, if they're in their 70s or 80s, like, have your kids come be with us too. I want them to understand what you're doing, why we're doing this for you, so they feel they're part of the process. But just like you said, just building that relationship from the generation to the next generation.
Yep.
Well, that's huge with Traci. We trust you with our family member during that time, and then Eric, we trust you with our money. And so, I mean, there's a huge trust has got to be huge there in both of those industries for sure.
Yeah, they go hand in hand, because without the money, I can't typically get the best that the family wants and the senior wants. And so it's that planning process and building the relationships young. I mean, my big thing is educating the adult children so they're not the burden for their children later on down the line.
Yeah.
Building those relationships young. Yeah.
Yeah, the planning process is huge. We work with a lot of people on that same thing, or we get them on the back end in the real estate world where they are trying to sell the house and the kids are like, no, don't sell the house. We want the house. And so it's getting everybody getting everybody on board with the plan and having a plan in place is incredibly important. We just worked with an estate attorney, and when we got the whole estate plan in place, we had all of our kids come with us, and we're like, hey, come on down. And we talked about the will, and here's how things are going to work, and here's the money. And so I think that's important. And, you know, y'all are key elements of that, because you're the people that have got the information that can help them do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's having them on the same plan with their family, because a lot of times, sometimes the kids want something different than the parents want. And then sometimes I have parents that they don't want to spend any of their money. They're just, and I'm like, you've worked hard to be here. Like, go travel, take your grandkids. And I always tell them, spend the money. Your kids are going to spend it if you pass. So spend the money, enjoy it. But it's really figuring out what do they want, and then getting everybody on the same page so they feel comfortable. And then if they do spend money, nobody's mad, and they're enjoying their retirement. They're enjoying what they worked hard for.
Yeah.
So how many people do you have on your team, Eric?
Right now we have 36 licensed agents on our team.
36. So with the relational unique value proposition, how do you keep all 36 people keying on that unique value proposition? Because that's a big group.
Yes, sir. So one of the big keys, and one of my mentors always told us, he's like, you can't expect what you don't inspect. And he's like, what that really means is, you know, we tell someone we think this is what they're doing on a presentation or helping a client because that's how we trained them. But if you're not checking in, watching it, following up, we don't know if that's really happening. So it's really, number one, you know, just inspecting, and not in a boss or yelling at them, just making sure things are going right. Number two, it's helping them understand relationships and just developing relationships with them. I always tell someone, I don't want someone on my team that I wouldn't have at my house with my family and my wife and my kids. And that's the integrity and the parts that are, to me, more important than can you sell something or your stuff. It's the integrity, the relationship part. And when they know that's what your beliefs are, I always tell our guys, I believe in the 3 F's, your faith, your family, and your finance. And I believe if I can make a difference in your life in one of those areas or all of those areas, like I'm making a true impact. And I think a lot of times when people know that's where you stand, they want to achieve that standard too. This is our goal, but it's really working with them, but also letting them know too, like, I'm here to help. Like, finances change, things are different, and you're not going to do this for a year and know this. Same thing in real estate. Like, you can learn all you want, but in a year, there's going to be a question you don't know the answer to, and like, don't be afraid to ask. That's what I'm here for, to help you and to coach you along the way.
Yeah, I like the order you put those in too: faith, family, and then finances.
Yes, sir. In my opinion, that's the correct order. And I think if you live life that way, it makes things better, and people will see that and they'll ask you questions, and they know you'll be able to help them through that process.
Yep.
It probably helps you too, Eric, that you hire those individuals based off of that mission statement as well.
Yes, absolutely. So when I talk to someone, the biggest thing we need to know is, hey, it has to be a win-win. I always hear everybody, it has to be a good fit for you, it has to be a good fit for us. But I always want people to know kind of where I stand. I'm not shy about that, I guess. We talk about that in the interview. We talk about the process. And to me, it's they have to see themselves winning, because if they can't see themselves being successful working with you, they're never going to put in the most effort. And I think we'll talk about later about vision, but you have to have a vision big enough they can fit in, where they want to be part of it and they can see themselves winning, and they know you can help them, achieve what they want. And then it comes back to the relationship, taking time to get to know them, to know what do they want. Like some of my great part-time teammates, they just want to make an extra $1,000. They want to work whenever they want to. They want some flexible part-time income, and then other people want a career change. But it's taking the time to know them and building relationships so you can figure out what they want to help them reach their goals.
Well, Eric mentioned fostering relationships over transactions. So how do y'all do that? I mean, I know Traci's involved with Special Olympics, and what is Pajamas for Seniors? I know you do that, but I have no idea what that is. And how does that build the relationships?
Yeah. Pajamas for Seniors, it is either raising funds or actually collecting pajamas for female and males. And then we give those to the lower income, more of the Medicaid folks that don't have families coming to visit. A lot of those lower income communities, and we deliver boxes full of slippers and pajamas to each of the residents. So it's a very meaningful and rewarding experience by all means. And who doesn't love pajamas? So everybody's into this. So it's very easy. And again, everybody, just like you, Scott, they ask the question, what is Pajamas for Seniors?
Yeah.
And that builds a relationship right there, just to be able to open the door for conversation, and with a compassionate cause behind it. And I'm real into all my fundraising and my activities, and I just bring everybody along for the ride, and then it creates a new lasting relationship, because now I've got a team of volunteers that want to come back and do it every year. So
yeah,
lots of relationships.
That's what I've discovered too, because there was a kid that I helped. He had MD. His name's Josh. He had MD, but he outlasted all of the doctor's predictions. He was 35 when he passed, but he was a big guy, and his mama couldn't help him get dressed in the morning. So a lot of times I went over and did some of that just to help out. But that's kind of where the passion for the SOAR prom. Josh would have hated the idea of going to the SOAR prom, but would have loved every moment of being there.
Right.
So it's just one of those things where sometimes people look and they go, "Oh, you're serving," and I got more out of that relationship than Josh ever got out of it.
Yeah.
I helped him get dressed in the morning, and that was about it, because he couldn't. But man, that dude taught me so much about just life and living life and loving God, and compared to him, my life is so easy compared to the struggle he had, even just to breathe. So, sometimes those relationships you build in those things where other people see you as serving, you're not. You're being blessed beyond measure in those things.
Yeah. I say that in my industry and with my families and everything, though, it's a double-edged sword, because it's the hardest thing I have to do with what I do is remember that it's a business. I have to do business stuff too. I got to pay taxes. Because I absolutely love what I do. And if I was, won the lottery or something, I'm sure I keep doing this without getting paid by my communities for bringing them in. So yeah.
Well, that's even my definition of retirement. Retirement is working by choice instead of by need.
It's a great definition, because on that part, I see a lot of people, they're like, I'm just going to retire and do nothing. And I'm like, you have to find something to do, because it doesn't end up well if you're not doing something. Find a hobby, find a place to volunteer, but you have to have something where you feel you're still making an impact in others' lives.
Yeah.
You got any good stories about somebody that found one? That just found some hobby or something that they did that they weren't planning on?
A friend of ours who he had no idea what he was going to do in retirement, and he went just casually online looking at drones and decided, oh, I'm going to get one. Well, he ended up actually taking a course, bought a pretty expensive drone, and now in his retirement, he goes along with a lot of his real estate friends, and he takes pictures of the property from the drone view of their properties. And he had no technical, nothing. This was not his thing at all. So it was kind of random, but he loves it. He's flying drones around all day. He's like playing with toys again.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
There you go, Scott.
I have a drone. I have a drone sitting right on the other side of this desk.
There you go. See, I've just got your side hustle set up for you.
That's his retirement gig.
Yeah.
Well, this is my retirement gig. I'm kind of doing it.
Sorry, Eric. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I think clients do lots of different things, kind of just what Traci was saying, like things you wouldn't expect they like. And a lot of times encourage them, like, just volunteer, whether you're volunteering at your at your church or other, and they find things they like. And then all of a sudden they find out, hey, this isn't just like something I wanted. They're chairing boards, they're doing things, they're getting everybody else. But yeah, that's part of the biggest thing, just getting out and volunteering and doing something fun. I know my meemaw, she just turned 90. But she's always done the stuff, and she was the lady in charge of the group that did the funerals at their church. So when someone passed away, like, that was her job. She made sure everybody had food. She did it, and she loved it. And she was like, I think I'm going to retire and not do it. And then she was super sad. And, she missed one, and she missed it. She went right back because it gave her a purpose. She was helping others. She was making an impact. And I think that's the key, is finding something where we feel we're still helping and making an impact.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of one of those, what you were talking about, as a value proposition, is if you help people get set up financially, then they've got a lot of options in their retirement age. And if they don't get set up on the front end, then they end up working way later than they had intended to. And I just think that's a huge advantage, that people work with somebody with their finances, work with their long-term care, try and figure out, what is the plan for the next step.
The earlier you start, the better. I can't tell you how many families that think that they prepared, but did not realize, what comes after retirement. And it's a struggle. It can be a struggle. So planning is everything.
And how long retirement is, in today's world with medicine and health. And it's not like the little chart tells you retired 65 and die at 80. Like, that's not the world. And a lot of people, they live into their 90s, into their hundreds. And if their plan runs out at 80, the last 20 years are not going to be fun. So no, it's fun. But starting early is awesome. This morning, I helped a company set up their employees, and the two young ladies I were helping, one was 19 and one was 26. So we were setting up their 401ks and their retirement.
That's awesome.
And showing them how much money they're going to have by doing $100 a month. When you're 19 years old to 65 is awesome.
That's
great. It's fun. Yeah. Just the earlier you start, the better on that part.
Well, and those are the people that end up being your brand ambassadors, because they're going to go, hey, I didn't know this, but look at this portfolio I've got. You really need to. I watched lots of firemen come into the fire station, and I was always talking them into, we've got a pension system, which most people don't have that anymore, but I was always talking to them about putting money into a deferred comp plan or putting money into a Roth. And they're like, well, I can't afford that. I can't afford that. I'm like, dude, you can't afford not to. And then once they start and they start seeing the accounts build, then they all of a sudden became the guys who were bringing the rookies aside and going, hey, you need to do this, because they saw the growth. So those girls may be the people that, are your biggest promoters for your business.
Absolutely. They're the most fun to help, because sadly, a lot of financial companies won't even talk to them because they're not high net worth clients and they don't want to help them. And they're the ones who need the help. And like you said, they'll be clients for life, and they'll entertain.
Clients for life.
Yep.
So
fostering those relationships.
That's what it's about, is it's those relationships and that long term. So we're going to jump to a break real quick. And when we get back, we're going to do a deep dive into how y'all got started doing what you're doing. So we'll be right back after this short break.
The Community Difference Wylie would like to thank the following partners for their ongoing support.
We are Cloud Staff, enabling remarkable growth for businesses everywhere with our pioneering enterprise-grade remote work solutions. We are on a mission to help business owners scale while reducing costs by matching you with an amazing staff, mobilizing your team, and helping manage business performance, making us the #1 workplace as remote work gets done. Connect with us to access the world's top talent and discover how we can enable remarkable growth for your business.
And now, back to the show.
So this is the part of the show where we get to know people a little bit better. And Harvey, since you invited Eric on, I'm going to let you get him started on telling us his story.
Well, the other day at Master Networks, he gave a presentation and kind of talked a little bit about himself. And what I found interesting, Eric, was that while you were going to college, you used to be a bartender. And I'm curious, how did you go from being a bartender to a financial advisor?
Beer and bacon.
Beer and bacon, right? We're going to have beer and IRAs, right? So we just did both. So I bartended my way through school, and, in the restaurant industry, you find out you're good at it. You have people skills and you have work ethic. And all this, everybody in our business and financial services, people think it's about numbers, and in the fact side, it's really about people skills and work ethic. I worked in a restaurant. I looked at jobs, and the real truth is everyone that wanted to hire me wanted to pay me less than I made in the restaurant. And I'm like, I can't take less money. I'm 23. I'm getting married. I'm used to making this kind of money, and I can't start at 35 grand. And then when I met my coach and I saw our business, I liked the fact, number one, that we helped real families with money. My dad's a pastor. My mom's a teacher's aide. And I didn't want to work at a financial company where I couldn't help my own family. And I also wanted to make a six-figure income, but wanted to feel that I was helping. And when I saw the business, I saw the opportunity to learn something part-time, find out if I was good at it. I had mentorship, which to me was really important. I bartended in Highland Park. So I learned something very quickly there. The people that hung out all afternoon, they owned a business. They had freedom of time and money. My great clients that came in at 11:30 and had to leave at 11:50 to make it back to work, they had jobs. They're all great people, but it really let me see that at a young age that I wanted to own a business because I wanted something where I could control my time and money and help others. So it really just let me transition from there. And one of my customers actually introduced me to my coach that I ended up working in his office and learning the business from.
Awesome. Eric, I was talking to you the other day, actually probably, 3 or 4 months ago. And I always thought that financial planning was just about budgeting and investing. But I learned from you from that conversation that life insurance is a big part of that too. And why is that so important when you're talking about planning your financial freedom?
Absolutely. So we always talk to our clients about building a financial house. And we tell them, look, the foundation of that financial house is your life insurance. And the big term we like to use is income replacement. Because a lot of times when people think about life insurance and think about, well, if I die, I need to pay for a funeral. And I was telling them, if you're 75 years old, that's okay, right? But if you're 45 years old, if you die, what your wife and kids need is to replace that income. Because that income is taking care of your life. And in today's world, I talk to my clients about lifestyle. A lot of times, especially as a business owner, we work really hard, right? Our clients work hard, and you work hard to have different things or to provide a different lifestyle for your kids maybe than you grew up with. And I was telling everybody, life insurance allows you to replace that lifestyle if you pass away. So if something happens to me, my wife and kids don't have to move. My son doesn't have to stop going to his private Christian school. All the things that we want them to do, the insurance replaces that. And that's the foundation of the plan. And then once you have the foundation, then we want to look at, the budgeting to getting out of debt so we can free up money. But then we want to free up money to invest And the ultimate goal is at 65, you have enough money in your investments, you have no debt, that you really don't need the life insurance, because if something happens, your family gets your Roth IRAs, your IRAs, your retirement plans, and no debt. But for most people, the very foundation is the life insurance in the first step. And then also for business owners, a lot of business owners don't think about that. If you're a business owner, especially if you have a partner, there's what they call a key man policy or an insurance policy that you can pay for through your business. So if something happens to you, it pays off the business debt, or it allows your wife to be able to sell the business, to pass it on, or if you have a partner, for them to be able to keep the business running and be able to buy out your spouse or leave something for your family. So yeah, life insurance is definitely key. I always tell everybody investments are exciting. They're sexy. Everybody wants to talk about investments. Life insurance is boring. Nobody wants to talk about the life insurance, but it's the foundation. It's the most important part.
Yep. You got anything else?
No, sir. That's all yours.
Okay. Well, I was gonna drop it to Traci, find out, how did you get involved with assisted living locators? Because it's not one of those things that I would have gone, hey, here's a business I think I'll go into. So
yeah, and I'll keep this my kind of short as I can. But I was an advocate and caretaker for both my Mima when she moved here, and going back and forth for my parents in California. And actually 20 plus years ago, I was doing what I actually do now for my Mima when she moved here. I was out hitting Plano streets trying to find the best assisted living location for my grandma. So with no clue what I was doing, absolutely no clue, but I knew my Mima. And then going through all of that and end of life with my folks, especially my mom, because I was flying back and forth so much, I really thought I was going to go into hospice, because what those hospice folks did for me and my family, especially my mom during that time, I'm like, I want to be that. I want to give that to families, because it was amazing. And after going through a huge litigation with one of those family members that wasn't quite on board in the financial planning with my folks, I learned a lot through that litigation after Mom passed. And this kind of just fell in our laps. A franchise coach reached out to my husband, did in-depth interview with us, and heard my little story about hospice and senior care and all that, and came back with 5 different franchises, and this was one of them. And it basically, it pulled my heartstrings, and none of the other ones mattered. So that's how I got into it. And I have really morphed into this 100%. This is where I'm supposed to be. And at the right time in my life to be able to do it, with the experience that I had taking care of my folks, going through the legal things that go on when not everything's covered. And it's a very, very rewarding and incredible. I love helping these families because I was there. I know how hard it is. So it's very, very rewarding and fruitful.
Amy's mom and dad moved down to Texas from Chicago, and they ended up loving it. Now, she did not like that Roger Starbuck guy, but that's what she always called him, was Roger Starbuck, because he always ended up beating her bears at some point in time. But they loved the weather here. They ended up living with us for a while, and then Dad's health got a little bit better after he got some heart surgery, and they ended up getting their own place. But we were taking care of them pretty much. And man, it is so important. It's Amy even took a leave of absence and moved in with her dad. I give her a hard time saying she left me for another guy, but I think I love that guy as much as she did. But she moved in with him and took care of him until he died, and it was just probably the best thing in her life, was to be able to take care of her daddy. And I guess I'm looking at both of y'all there. The reason she could do that is because there was a financial plan in place.
Yeah.
I mean, she was under the impression that we had to have her income or we wouldn't make it. And she discovered that she could take that leave of absence, and she never went back.
Yeah.
She was able to take care of Dad. The bills were all paid. Everything was taken care of. And it's just, the work that y'all do, it's just so important that, when I see people that don't have those things in place, it just hurts my heart. I'm trying to, I sent Traci a couple the other days and like, hey, y'all need to go talk to her about this thing, and we do a lot of financial coaching through the church, and, people just, nobody ever teaches you this stuff.
No, and they really should, at least the preliminary parts of it, so you have some knowledge of somewhat what to expect or when to start planning. But yeah, for what Eric and I both do, it's a very, very personal job. And I'm sure Eric can speak to this too, that there are definitely others out there who do what we do that may not be quite as relational and are more transactional, and it doesn't serve. And you got to feel good about what you do.
Absolutely. And that part, some of the things that breaks my heart the most is when I'll see someone who got sold something that they didn't understand and they got taken advantage of, and then sometimes you can't even fix it. Like sometimes we can fix it, but sometimes we can't. But it's the education part, like you just talked about, just teaching families. And that's what I love our company. We take the time we have a how many works book, right? And it breaks down, hey, what is a mutual fund? What's the difference between a Roth IRA and a traditional IRA? What are the types of life insurance? And it's just taking the time to explain to people, because in my opinion, people want to learn and they want to be taught. They don't want to be talked down to. And I think a lot of financial companies use big words and try to seem super smart and super fancy. And people won't ask questions because you don't want to feel ignorant that you don't know, and they just buy products they don't understand. And to me, I always tell my clients, I want to have enough of a relationship with you that you will ask me questions. Like if you don't ask me questions, we don't have a relationship. So if you don't know, ask, or if you have questions, ask me. But it's really just taking that time to explain so they understand what they have, and then they can ask you, what they want. But so many times, companies just sell products and people buy things and they have no idea what they bought.
Yeah. I wish I would have known all this when I was a young man. I grew up, my parents didn't know it, so they didn't really install it into me or share it with me. And then so I didn't do the same thing with my children. It was just kind of like a generational thing. And then now I'm older and I'm learning all this. It's like trying to encourage my kids to do that, man. It's like beating your head on the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not too late though. You can catch them. And if you don't catch them, then get them grandbabies.
Yep.
Teach them grandbabies. Because nobody taught us, and we were clueless about money for forever. And we would go into tens of thousands of dollars in debt, just consumer credit card debt. And then we'd go, oh, this is horrible. And then we'd climb out of debt. And then we'd go, oh, hey, look, we can go spend money again. And then we go get back in debt. And we did that like 3 or 4 times.
Well, you know what? If you stop and think about what we spend on our grandkids for their birthday and for Christmas, if we took that as grandparents and put that in a savings account or something in that regard, that would be a retirement plan for them, they would be set for life. And we just don't wrap our heads around that to understand that. So
yeah, but they gotta have Play-Doh.
They gotta have the fun gifts.
Gotta be Legos. I get it, but we gotta have some of that fun stuff.
Well, he lets them drive the truck.
Exactly. That's true. I mean, he's got a 3-year-old driving his truck already. So
it's the experiences.
It is the experiences, and I'm a firm believer in that too. It's just, hang out with those kids, hang out with those grandbabies.
Absolutely. No, she made the comment. She made the comment, her meemaw. I haven't heard that. My grandparents were meemaw and pawpaw. You don't hear that anymore.
Yeah.
That really hit me when you said meemaw. It just made me think.
Meemaw, yeah. She was a hoot.
Yes.
Okay, well, it's been fun getting to know y'all a little bit. We're going to go to a break real quick, and when we get back, the next segment is called What's the Difference? And I will ask just a couple of questions about what's the difference between two topics, and we'll just go around the panel and see what y'all have got to say. So we'll be right back after this short break.
At the Community Difference Business Development Alliance, powered by the Difference Media LLC, our mission is to empower small business owners by transcending acceptable behaviors and outcomes into exceptional realms. We foster a culture of self-awareness, accountability, and proactive engagement, guiding individuals to recognize and overcome indifference towards transformative actions, habits, behaviors, and processes driving meaningful change. Through strategic networking, impactful content creation, and innovative top-of-mind strategies, we cultivate brand relevance and differentiation, enabling our partners and the Difference community to stand out in crowded markets. With a focus on building authentic connections, amplifying brand presence, and driving sustainable growth, we equip entrepreneurs with the tools and mindset to navigate the complexities of entrepreneurship with confidence, innovation, and resilience. Together, we aim to be the catalyst for difference makers, propelling them towards their highest potential and leaving a lasting impact on their businesses and communities. That's where our community podcasts come in. These podcasts lie directly at the intersection of innovative business development and community involvement, helping to bridge the gap between small business obscurity often seen in our communities. The community-based podcasts called the Community Difference Series are an integral part of integrating all facets of modern business development into a package of great content, positive impact branding, and top-of-mind presence, thus fulfilling the greater mission we set forth. When we set out to be difference makers, we can learn to make a difference and find the success and impact innately desired by all business owners and entrepreneurs. We are difference makers.
And now it's time for What's the Difference?
So what's the difference? This is kind of a business development piece where we just differentiate between two different strategies or tactics or topics. So the first question I've got today is, and we'll go around and everybody can kind of give an answer. What's the difference between having a vision and having a strategy?
Who's going first?
All right, I'll go.
I think for us, especially with my business, you know, my long-term vision for Twilight Cleaning Service is to franchise out, and so in order to do that, that's my vision. But then I have to have a strategy of how to get there, and so through that, I look at what's the processes that I need to put in place in order to be able to hand that over to someone that would be buying a franchise from me, that would benefit them to be able to just take that Twilight Cleaning Service franchise and run with it. So to me, that's the way I see a vision and a strategy in my industry.
Yeah.
Eric, how about you?
Oh, go ahead, Eric.
So for me, vision is where you want to go, and then the strategy is how you're going to get there. And I think we live in a world where a lot of people have a vision of where they want to go, and there's a lot of really limited strategies on how to get there, or a lot of unrealistic strategies of how to get there.
Mm-hmm.
So for me personally, like with our business, our goal right now is to open 3 new offices before June of 2027. And then our strategies to do that is we know we need to add 30 new licensed agents each year. And through that process, we're going to find people who want to run an office to go through that process. And then on the same thing on the client side, like when we sit down with clients on their financial side, a lot of clients have a vision of what they want retirement to be. But like my job on that side is to put together their strategy. So when I see strategy for them, it's, hey, here's the monthly goal. Here's the target number we have to have. Here's how we get there. And I think for a lot of business owners, we might have the long-term vision, but maybe no one's helped us put together the actual strategies. Hey, what are the steps that we have to get there? And I think it takes both to be successful. You have to have a vision people are going to buy in, but then you have to have a strategy to get them there.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely. You have to have both. You have to have both. And that vision is the big picture. That's the dream. That's the motivator. That's what inspires you every morning, your big why kind of thing.
Yep.
But the strategy are those actual action steps that you have to come up with and then actually do, not just put it on paper, actually do to get to that vision.
You mean you have to actually implement the strategy?
Oh, what a thought, right?
Yeah, you can't just like dream it into existence.
Just vision it into being. No. It doesn't work. It doesn't work.
The answer I've got on this piece of paper is a vision is the why behind your business, a long-term aspirational goal that inspires your actions. A strategy, on the other hand, is how, the step-by-step plan to achieve. While vision motivates, strategy provides a roadmap for execution. So, and I'm big onto the big why, because if you know why you're doing something, your why is very seldom going to change. Your why is your driving factor. It's gonna drive you to actually take those actions, or you're not going to reach that why. But the strategy, I mean, you're never going to reach the why if you're just like, man, one day we're going to get there, and you just like a boat on an ocean. It just doesn't happen that way. You have to have a map. You got to plot a course, and you got to have an end in mind, which is why I like what Harvey was talking about with the goal is to franchise. So if you don't have that goal, he can go build a great business that is very difficult to sell in the long haul. But if the goal is to franchise, then your strategy, you build completely different than you would if you're just planning on being a solopreneur forever. Or you're going to build a business and give it to your kids or something. But so the difference between the vision and the strategy, I mean, y'all said it, you need both, but you got to have the big why. What's the big deal that you're shooting for? And I guess Eric deals with that on an everyday basis, because I mean, he mentioned individuals and businesses, and you got to help them understand why are you doing this?
That is such a big question, because especially with business owners, when you're talking about their business, why are you building this? Is your goal to leave it to your kids? Is your goal for this part? And then, having a succession plan, whether their plan is to leave it to the kids, whether it's to franchise, or whether it's to sell it and walk away and live their dream retirement. But it's really getting them to tell you what they want. And a lot of times people are so busy with day-to-day life, they've never sat down to think about what they want. Like, what's the big picture? What do I actually want? They're just in, they're in survival mode, right? Not striving mode. They're just surviving just to get by. But yeah, that's the goal, is figuring out, hey, what do you want? Because once you can figure out what you want, then we can put a plan to help you get it. But I can't put a plan together until we know what you want.
Yep. We talked about, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, I think a lot of business owners, most especially newer entrepreneurs, when they start their business, they see that vision, they see where they want to go. But a lot of times they don't understand that they have to have a strategy in place, or a roadmap, as we keep referring to get to that. And I think as us, Scott used the terminology earlier for me as seasoned entrepreneur, which, man, that sure did make me feel old when he said that. But I think us as entrepreneurs, we should really be encouraging and come alongside those individuals and help them with that strategy and be that help them put that roadmap.
Yeah, there was a kid came to the Wylie Business Connect meeting yesterday. He's a business student, an entrepreneurial. He's majoring in entrepreneurial studies or something. I forget what it was exactly. But he goes to Collin College across the street from where we meet at the library. And he said, I'm writing a paper for my entrepreneur class, and I need to talk to a business owner and get some information about how to go about building a business and building a plan. And this kid walked into a room with 50 business owners. Wow. And I'm like, what a plethora of information.
Yeah.
he had like 10 people standing around him, and he ended up picking one, and they sat there for about an hour, and they were just going through stuff, and they made their connection. So it's kind of a big deal to have somebody. I mean, you mentioned having a mentor earlier.
Yes.
Traci mentioned having the person that was talking to them about it. So, it's important to have somebody to help you build your plan also.
Well, I know just me I'm myself, nobody else. I do it all. I wear all the hats. I'll be honest, little plug for the difference here, but being involved in our training and the business development that we do, that all of you out there could join us and do as well. It has gotten me out of my box, and I am learning a whole lot more about those business aspects that they're not my specialty. I just want to help seniors, so it building that strategy and knowing where to start and what steps need to be, we don't know. So having help and guidance is huge.
Yeah.
Well, that's why this show is important. I mean, because that's what we're doing. That young entrepreneur, obviously he can watch these shows and really pick up a lot of information just from tuning into these.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think mentorship is so important. And the honest truth is, if you ask someone successful in business, most of them would love to share. Because they've already messed up, they've already seen the things that, and if they can help someone. I think a lot of times we're afraid to ask people. Our pride gets in the way that we don't need to ask someone that I know how. Yeah. But yeah, I'm blessed. My coach has been in the business 45 years. So when I have a question, I can ask him, and then you have to just be humble to listen, because chances are they've seen what you're going through, right? They've seen it. They've seen the good and the bad side. But yeah, having a mentor that can help you. One of my mentors says, he said, the only shortcut to success is mentorship. He's like, that's the only way you can do it faster, is to learn from someone who's made mistakes, because they can help you dodge some of those potholes and to get to life faster. So,
I love that.
Yeah, mentorship is key.
Yeah,
that's good.
Well, it's time to wrap the show up. So we're going to start with Eric. Give us final thoughts on today and share contact information where people can get a hold of you and learn from you.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, thank you guys for being here. I had no idea what to expect when Harvey asked me to be here. I really enjoyed today. I learned a lot. This is a great group of business owners. I love talking to business owners and other leaders, because you can always learn from. So thank you guys for having us. For us, my best contact, definitely you can just reach out to me. Calling me is the best. It's 214-335-8544. And that's my number. Just, give me a call. We can sit down. And in today's world, we can set up a one-on-one time. Where schedules are better, we can set up a Zoom time and really just talk about your goals, figuring out what you want, and whether it's with your business or individuals. Yeah, I would love just to sit down and help anyone on that part. But thank you guys for having me again. I really appreciate it today.
Awesome. We're glad to have you on. Traci?
Yeah, too. It was fun to be over here in the Wylie woods over here and get out of Plano a little bit. So I appreciate being on with all you fellas too. And it was good conversation. It was real good. It was fun chatting it up with y'all. So, I am on Facebook under Traci Duff, Assisted Living Locators. My email is tracid@assistedlivinglocators.com. And reach out with any questions. I mean, even the preliminary ones in the beginning, that's how to get it started. And I will release a lot of that burden.
Harvey?
Hey, I had a blast with each and every one of you guys. Eric, thank you so much for coming on. If you're wanting to reach us and just find a partner that can align with you to ensure your business is clean, give us a call at 469-556-0341.
And I'll close us out. I'm Scott Johnson with FireBoss Realty. I really enjoyed the conversations today. If you're looking to buy or sell a home, you can contact us at firebossrealty.com or give me a call at 972-979-2750. That's my cell phone. You can get a hold of me. I actually am a realtor that answers my phone. So I enjoyed the day. I look forward to the next show, and we'll talk to you next time.
Great fun.
Thank you for watching today's show.
The Community Difference Wylie was made possible by Scott Johnson with FireBoss Realty, Harvey Loosier with Twilight Cleaning Services, Kim Johnson with Kim Johnson Group, Clarence Joraff with the Compound Nevada, and by Diane Castle with Castle to Castle, connecting charities with fundraising solutions. The Community Difference Wylie. Together, we can make the difference.